Hi, welcome to my channel, Sparkle and Glue. So glad to have you here today. So we are going to work on a little pocket folio. Let me show it to you. So it has a pocket up front and a second one. And when you open up inside, there is a corner pocket, which is doubled, so you have room for two. And then a little seed, I'm calling this a seed pocket or packet, but glued in. And then you can either give this as a card or glue it into an album. And it's really perfect. It fits, if you want to put gift cards in here, you can put them wherever, in any of the pockets, but you certainly could see them in this top pocket and then the one on the outside. Anyway, so I have a cutting guide here, and I'll keep this out and we'll use it as we put the album together. The paper we're going to use is from, it's called DCWV, and this one's called preserved paper, and all of their packs are really nice. They're just, this one is a little darker, or a little more, I guess, yeah, neutral dark. I like more brighter flowers, and I do have more other collections from them. I purchased this on Amazon for $17, but I just found them at officesupply.com for $10.15. And they had a coupon for free shipping if it was over $45, and then also a $5 coupon off. So I ordered them. I have not received them yet. They haven't shipped them yet. So let's wait and see if I actually get them. But that's a great deal if it works. Anyway, so let's go ahead and get started. So you're going to start with your base, which is 6 by 8. And let me just get this cutting guide here. Okay, so these particular papers come with a hole, but if you measure, they're over 12 inches. So line them up at the 12, and you can cut off the strip and then have a 12 by 12 exactly. All right, so now let's start with the 12 by 12 and 6 by 8. So I'm just going to put this in on 8 and then on 6. And this is going to be your base, and depending on what side you want to have it on. And you can score this on the 8-inch side at 4 or just fold in half. Whatever's easier for you, I'm just folding in half. And let's go ahead and we'll do the seed pocket, which is 4 1/4 by 10 1/4. So I don't think this piece, well, this might, no. Let's go ahead and take a new piece. So 4 1/4 by 10 1/4. Alright, and then we're going to score this on both sides. So let me get the scoring board. Alright, so on the 4 1/4 side, you're going to score it a half and 3 3/4. So 1/2, and then it's 3 3/4, or you can turn it around and just score. So it's a half on either side is really what it's amounting to. And then on the 10 1/4 inch side, we're going to score it 1 3/4 and 6 1/2. Okay. Now I don't know if you can, yeah, I think you can see the score lines. We're going to cut off the 4 corners. You're leaving the whole middle. So you just want to cut on the score lines, and I guess it's a little hard to see, but you're going to just cut up to the score line and then cut off. And you're going to do this on all 4 sides. Okay. And yeah, there's a little bit, the light's coming in. I can't see the score lines very well, but let's see. Or could just be my eyes, one or the other. All right, and our last one, we're going to, okay. And, all right, and now you're just gonna fold on your score lines. And then you want to decide which way you want. So I'm putting, and also the thing is, you can glue these pockets on any sides you want. If you don't have to do it this way. So since I'm going to do it inside here, I'm going to use the opposite side of the paper. And what you want to do, let me grab a quarter punch. Okay, so the tops, you're going to fold this in, and then you're going to round the corners, and it just makes it easier to fit in. And I'm going to also do the bottom. You don't have to, but it just seems a little easier. It doesn't catch. Okay, and then you don't have to do the bottom, but you can. It's certainly up to you, the bottom flap. And what I am going to do on this top, let me do this just for a minute, is I am using this punch, which I did use it on this. And I just think it's kind of pretty. You could just round the top corners, it doesn't really matter. But I am going to go ahead and I don't know if you haven't used one of these before, what you're doing is you do one punch and then you're going to line up so you almost, it covers the design, and punch again. And this way you'll get it even, well, not really even, but, and I'm just pulling that off. And I think a little ink, and I'm using Distress Ink Vintage Photo. I was using Gathered Twigs a lot. I like this one a little better. It's a little darker, at least to me, or maybe, I don't know. I'm liking it a little more. Okay. And so what you want to do is go ahead and push down so you get a nice fold. And you're going to glue just on the ends here, on both sides. And then just fold up and push down. I might cut a little piece off of this. I'm just trimming it. Okay. So push down so you glue adheres nicely. And I'm going to go ahead and press here so we have a nice little. Alright, and let's bring back our base. And we're going to glue this pocket inside here. So I am just putting the glue on the back. And you can just, wherever you like it, I'm just centering it pretty much. And then just push down. Okay, and that is our inside little pocket. Okay, the next one we're going to do, it's 2 pockets, And that is, we're working on these pockets right now. So let me bring back cutting. All right, and we're going to cut 2 at 4 3/4 by 2 1/2. So let's do 4 3/4, and then we're going to cut these at 2 1/2 and 2 1/2. And then the top flap is 2 1/2 by 3 3/4. Okay, so that are the pockets. And then what you're going to do on the two pockets, is we're scoring in 3 places. So you're making your pocket. So you're going to score at 1/2. You're going to turn on the long side and score at 1/2, and then turn again on the short side and score at 1/2. So we're just making a little pocket here. So 1/2 and 1/2. So what the part is you're going to have a score line on the 2 shorter sides, and then just one on the long side. And we're going to do these with the flowers facing up. And then I'm mitering the corners, so I'm just cutting in a diagonal across the score lines. So it makes it a little easier to fold, and it's less bulky. And both of these are the same size. So let's go ahead and fold them in. So it doesn't matter which one you put on the top or which one you put on the bottom. I'm gonna push down and then take my glue, and this one I'm going to place on the bottom, and I'm going to line it up with the bottom and then just a little centered. It's just a little smaller than the base. Okay, so that's one pocket. And then the other one is completely up to you where you want it. And let me do this part for you. So on our top flap, which we already cut 3 3/4, 2 1/2, we're going to score on the 2 1/2 side, and you're going to score at 1/2. And this is up to you if you want which side you want it to be on. But I am going to do it this way for 2 reasons. One is when you glue this down, it matches the paper. You can't see it as well. But you don't have to. You could do, or you might be using different papers, so it doesn't matter. And I'm going to just glue this, I don't know, maybe right here, and press down. And then for your top flap, I think I want to use this cutter again. But again, you can just round the corners or leave it square. It's completely what you want. And each different project, you may find you want to do something a little different. So I'm just lining it up with the picture. And for the last one, and I did get this punch on Amazon. I bought 2 different ones. One worked better than the other, so I guess it's maybe a hit or miss. I don't know, or maybe it was just a little bent in the middle, but All right, so then I'm just going to pull off and do a little ink, just so you can see the design a little better. And let's add some glue to the tab. And then what you want to do is you just want to place it so it lines up with the pocket. And then see here, this is what I was saying, how since the paper's the same, it sort of blends in. But again, that doesn't matter, but that's definitely a preference. The paper, I'm just putting a little ink where the paper has some white on it. Okay, so now we have the two front pockets, and what's left is our angle pocket. So what I want to do with that is you're going to take, we're going to get our cutter back out, and we're cutting a piece that's 4 by 4. So 4 by 4. And you don't have to use 12 by 12 cardstock for this. None of these pieces require 12-inch. So just depending on what you have. All right, so you have your 4 by 4. You're going to put it back in your paper cutter, and you're just going to put the two ends on the line the best you can. And go ahead and and slice. Okay. So I'm going to do this way. And what you want to do is when you glue it in, you want to make sure that you can still fold this okay. And I'm just going to glue along the outside two edges so you have the opening for the pocket. And you can put this any way you want. I'm going to do it, I'm going to line it up with the bottom, and then like I said, make sure that it's not covering over your score line so it still folds nicely. And now here's your options. You don't have to use this pocket. You could glue a second pocket this way if you like that style. You don't have to use it. You could use it on the back. But what I'm going to do is use my punch again, and that makes it shorter, and I'm going to make it a double pocket. But actually this way is kind of pretty too. So again, really completely what you feel like doing. And let's go ahead and line our punch up. And just one more. Okay. Pull that off. Let's do a little ink. And you see how much it made this pocket so short? And that was kind of why I came up with the double pocket, because I tried to do it on this as just with the one pocket, and it was just too short. But as a second pocket on top, it's kind of cute. So, and I actually think I am going to keep it on this side. So, again, you're just going to put glue along the edges. And let's go ahead and place that down in the corner. Push down. Okay. Move this to the side. And made a mess, as always. I'll tell you, crafting is messy. All right, so here's what we have. And again, this is about the size of a credit card. If you want to put a credit card, not a credit card or a gift card and give this as a gift, you can. But you have your two pockets here and here. And then you open it up and you have a pocket here and you have one here. And because of the holes, it kind of looks nice when you put something colorful inside. And then you have your seed pocket here. And again, this can, I got some ink on here. This can be given in an envelope, or you can glue this back down to a page in your journal or your mini album. And then if you want to just make a few tags with some of the leftover paper, you can. So maybe we'll just do a couple with some paper I have here. So I'm using this punch, which makes tags at 1.5, 2.5, and 2. And if it's not exactly perfectly, just make sure you line it up, because if not, then the top is off. But let's see. And let's just add a little ink. And that's one, and then let's see what size this is. So this one's a little, so I could trim these down to be exactly right, but for now I'm just putting them in. And a little ink. And then you can add these anywhere you want them. So you want to put them in, and then add a little bit of a colored ribbon, and I think that's really pretty. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed making this, and here, you know what, let me put that out for you in case you want to take a screenshot of the cutting guide. But anyway, thanks so much for stopping by. I hope you have fun making this, and I'll catch you on the next video. Have a great one.